Why do search marketing? What can it mean for your business to be on the top of Google search results? That means when people are looking for the products and services you offer, they find you. By picking the very best keywords and getting to the top of Google, you can get qualified, targeted traffic. That means it's not like traditional advertising where you broadcast your message out there with the hope of being top of mind or people remembering your brand. People are searching for your business right now, day after day, month after month, year after year. You can get the best conversion rates by taking that traffic from search engines and showing them why they should do business with you. And that means a great return on investment. By finding the people already looking for you and turning them into customers, you're going to be able to get the most money from your website. It's also something you can do. It's easy to learn and do on your own, and I will show you how. So get started with search marketing as the core of your marketing strategy because it's going to show you how you can be more effective with your social marketing and your web design and your other forms of marketing. But bottom line, look at search marketing first because that's where the money's at.